In western Victoria, about 3 hours from Melbourne, sits the town of Donald. It is a regional farming community of roughly 1,500 people. For decades, it maintained a reputation for being quiet and predictable. Violent crime in this part of the state was rare. Residents lived with a level of comfort that is becoming harder to find. It was common for families to leave their front doors unlocked while children rode their bikes through the streets unsupervised. 13-year-old Layla Jeffery was a part of that community. Her friends knew her as kind and quiet, a teenager who stayed close to her family and was focused on her future. Because this environment was built on such a high degree of mutual trust, the events of July 4 were a sudden, impossible departure from the town's daily reality. The timeline begins on July 4, 2026. Layla was last seen on McCracken Street near the center of town. When evening arrived and she didn't return home, her family's concern grew. They tried to reach her repeatedly, but the calls went unanswered. She was officially reported missing the following day. Local authorities immediately elevated the case to a high-priority search. The disappearance of a 13-year-old girl meant that police were now working through a high-stakes search operation, where the window for a safe recovery was shrinking by the hour. Within hours, specialists from the Victoria Police Missing Persons Squad arrived in Donald to coordinate what would become one of the region's largest search efforts. This chart shows the scale of the deployment. It was a massive convergence of state-level resources, including air wing helicopters, the dog squad, drones, and local SES volunteers. Search teams focused their efforts on the rugged bushland west of Burn Street, navigating through dense scrub and eucalyptus trees. The operation continued for several days. As the time since Layla was last seen increased, the probability of finding her alive began to drop. The turning point came when searchers discovered human remains in the bushland near the town. This discovery ended the rescue mission. The case was immediately reclassified, and the command was handed over to homicide detectives. As the mission shifted, the focus moved from finding a missing person to securing a crime scene and identifying a suspect. Crime scene specialists moved into the bushland to document the area and begin the slow process of collecting physical evidence. Investigators built this digital timeline, cross-referencing phone records with regional CCTV to verify movements on the day Layla vanished. By matching surveillance timestamps with electronic device logs, detectives identified a set of movements that didn't align with collected statements. On July 10, 2026, Victoria Police arrested a 16-year-old boy and charged him with murder. Police stated that Layla and the accused were known to each other, and they confirmed they were not looking for anyone else in connection with the crime. The rapid identification of a suspect showed how effectively modern forensics can map a crime, but it also forced the town to accept that the threat had come from within their own community. Because the accused is a minor, the legal proceedings are subject to strict reporting restrictions, which limit the amount of information that can be released to the public. As the case moves toward trial, the prosecution must prove the allegations in court. Under Australian law, the accused is presumed innocent until a verdict is reached. In Donald, the shock has transitioned into a period of mourning. Flowers and messages of support have been placed throughout the town as residents gather to support the Jeffery family. Local leaders and parents describe the events as a loss that has changed the community forever. This tragedy completely overrode the sense of absolute safety that had long been a core part of the town's identity. The physical search for Layla Jeffery took 144 hours. But for the people of Donald, the search for an understanding of how this could happen in their town is only just beginning.